Good day everyone, back with some more FGR. As you can see, this year's Christmas multiplayer event has started, and with it, the new banner. It's actually, like all other events, it's an event very worth playing. It will really help your account out, whether it's new or event. Also comes with a very nice welfare single target saber, so I definitely recommend giving her a go. However, at least for this stream, we're only interested in this banner, which unfortunately has gotten a little bit of the wind taken out of the sails of it, because since the last time we streamed, a big update hit the game, and they added Pity Summon 2 years early into the global server, which is just delightful. So here's the thing. Normally, having a pity is better than no pity at all. Well, this is true, and for those who are only interested in the big shiny 5-star servants, for those that are only interested in the shiny 5-star servants, then pity's a very helpful thing, because they know that the exact limit of how many rolls they need before they can guarantee get what they're rolling for. Unfortunately, because of Los Ingles, well, DW's now Los Ingles spaghetti carding, well, presumably that's the reason. What they've done is they've mucked up the banners to implement this system. So normally, when there are multiple 4-star servants that can be rated up with a specific 5-star, the banner will change every day or so. So, in this case, I'm only interested in Vritra and Martha. I don't give the slightest damn about Beowulf. In fact, I really dislike his design in this game, which is a shame because Beowulf's a badass. Unfortunately, his design here is just atrocious. So normally I would be waiting, we'll just wait until Martha's the sole rater 4-star. Unfortunately, then they implemented pity out of the blue, and getting back on track with that. So the way it works is they only want you to so you can only hit pity once for a specific 5-star servant, but it's tied to the banner. So you can only hit pity one time on a specific banner, and then of course if you actually get the 5-star before the pity, then the pity's burnt as well, which whatever. So since they've tied it to banner, that means they can't rotate the banner. It's to say now it's Vritra and Martha, or now it's Vritra and Beowulf, or now it's Vritra and both of them. Because what this means is, what that would mean is, well now every time it rotated onto a new banner, or if they split the banner and said here's a Vritra Beowulf banner and here's a Vritra Martha banner, you could just hit pity on different banners and guarantee like 3 copies of the 5-star. And they didn't want you to do that. So instead they just screw over everyone that has any interest in 4-star servers. So now there are no solo rate up for 4 stars anymore. Now they just throw them on the bloody banner all at once. Which just... And 4-star rate up is already the biggest lie in the game. So now that's even worse. And they've mucked over the global server for 2 years worth of 4-star summons. And I'm just a tiny bit irate about that. Just a tiny bit. Just a wee bit. So they've... Now the thing is, I'm hardly the only one that's really annoyed by this, because so JP didn't realize how they'd mucked it up until it was probably the Tron release. I believe it was the Tron release where people finally were like, "Oh, wait a minute, they really have mucked us over here." Specifically when Charlie came out, and on the banner was Crimheels and Roland. Well, typically the people that really want to roll for Roland don't really have any interest in Crimheels, and vice versa. Typically the ones that are all about Crimheels really don't give the slightest darn about Roland. But joke's on them, they have to roll for both of them and just, you know, flip a coin every now and then. So that was the first time the JP server started. Okay, wait, this is completely retarded. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is nonsense. Unfortunately, that's been months and they still haven't fixed it. However, they have since then seemingly done a bit of a band-aid. I hesitate to call it a fix, where what they'll do is, instead of having a 5-star with multiple 4 stars on the banner, they'll just have several 5 different 5-star servants and then tie them each to a specific 4-star. The Summer 7 is the big event that first showed that little band-aid off, where they had Proto Marilyn tied with Saber Gareth, and let's see, then they had Summer Scotty tied with Summer Scotty was tied with... No, she was tied with Ares. I believe she was tied with Ares. And then Summer Ibuki was tied with Summer Wu. So each 5-star gets their own little 4-star to be rated up with, and they've done that ever since. Now, of course, so they planned those banners out with the way they mucked up the pity system in mind. Whereas here, they just slap it on here willy-nilly, which just completely ruins 2 years worth of banners for us, because lol global, who cares about them? So yeah, and again, the band-aid fix is nonsense as well, because well, it's fairly obvious. Well, I like this 4-star, but I really don't like the 5-star that rated up with. But I like this 5-star with the 4-star I abhor. And it's like, oh well, that's an issue. They could easily solve this by just letting us build our own banners. Let us select, we want this rated up 5-star servant, and then this rated up 4-star servant from the ones that are currently available. I feel like that would be an easy solution, but you know, you can't expect a small indie company to, you know, pull anything remotely resembling cleverness out. But griping about it ain't gonna change anything, so let's waste some tickets here on my potential throwaway account. I guess we'll do tech ads first. So, good news is if you like Vritra but just not quite enough to huh.
我はブリトラじゃ。まったくこのような蛇に人が何をさせようというのか。我は自らの欲で動くだけの魔よ。手なずけられるとは思わぬ方が良いぞ。
Huh. Well, that just happened. So, you know, when I woke up today, I don't recall being Fubuki, but apparently, if anyone was watching her stream, I believe it was a few days ago, she rolled for Muramasa on JP, and funnily enough, this event is finally rerunning in JP at the same time it's starting here, and she had an extra ticket that she threw out and she got Vritra. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, so what I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by Snack. If you like Vritra but you're feeling a little apprehensive about rolling on this banner, no worries, because she is permanent, so she can spook you at any time. Unfortunately, she's not on the upcoming SSR ticket this coming anniversary. She and Odysseus neither wanna, which is a real shame. Huh. I'm starting to have questions. Someone from Lasagna listening in to the complaints about the pity nonsense. I'm going to attempt to not get really annoyed though if we start getting 4 stars and it's not Ruler Martha. Attempt to. So Vritra is a very underrated AoE arts lancer. It's just it's one of those things that's unfortunate because there's not a single AoE arts lancer in the game that's bad, with the exception of Welfare Elise. And she's not necessarily bad, it's just them being silly with the way they designed her MP. That's really the issue. But yeah, since AoE arts lancers are chock-a-block full of just incredible units, Vritra gets overshadowed a wee bit, fortunately. But she's fairly tanky. Her MP isn't upgraded, of course, so it doesn't hit super hard. But she can crit a bit, all sorts of good stuff. She's got that really lovely dragon skin passive, which juices up the buster cards, as well as giving her inherent damage cut. I believe she and Ibuki are the only ones that have that despite there being other dragons in the game that are playable, who probably should have it, but don't, for whatever reason. That's to get a Battle of Khanlan, because this account... So you may recall this account as being one of the ones all the way back when I rolled several different accounts for a potential Buster account on the Okuton banner back in Guda Guda. And this is the other account that got pretty lucky, and I decided just to hold on to it in case the notion struck me to do something wonky. Or in the case of like this banner, where I quite like a servant, but my other accounts can't really roll for the banner. Like how we've gotten Vritra twice and but not a single SR. They'll probably all be Beowulf, and I'll have the big sad. Somebody give that bloke some raid. What roll is this? There's another Khanlan. You know, the funny thing is my art account still does not have my second copy MLB'd, which is purely my own fault because I thought it did, and the last time I rolled I got some Khanlan, and I only need one more. But I forgot to check if I had the second copy MLB'd, and I ended up prisoning the extra copies. Oopsie daisy. Oh no. Kinda wish he would take you back to this screen so you keep track of your tickets. So I guess that was... So I guess we're just a little over 20 rolls in. Seems about right. I guess that shows the tickets. I am a nonce. I'm not with you today. Guild Array. Huh. Is there more than one 4-star C in this? Because I thought that other one with the camera, or maybe that's a 3-star C. Apparently I'm colorblind today. Gold, silver, it all looks the same. Couldn't get low. Caesar. I mentioned playing through this event. I wonder if I end up playing this account on this event at all. That's the best Caesar we got on this account. That's funny. Surprising that it's not too surprising though. This is only the second time this account's ever rolled. It's okay now. All I did was log in on it since Gouda. I haven't even done like weekly quests on it. So it's actually missing a lot of it. Potential quartz it could have had. There's our friend O. I actually don't remember what all this account has. I think it has MP3 Poketone and like MP2 Summon-Over. It has Sonzong, which is the big reason why I kept it. Maybe completely wrong about those MP levels. Perhaps. William Sal. So, I mentioned earlier that I really don't like Beowulf's design in this game. And it's for similar reasons why I really dislike William Tell's design. Or even Sigurd's. There are probably others too that are just slipping me mind at the moment. Also, I have no idea how much I'm going to roll here, I'll be honest. I was hoping to get some nice copies of Ruler Martha and some more Vritra. Fully expect split rate up to be a nightmare. Sad thing is, I'm annoyed right now because of the pity ruining the banners, but it's the banners next year where it's going to hurt so badly because it's specifically the summer event. That's going to be a thing. Or Australia. No, I forgot. Martha, okay, okay. There's one coin flip one. I could. I don't know why. I was like, wait, that's not a rider. Really glad to see that. Just keep those coming, please. So, if we've learned nothing else today, children, it's that you should always say please when asking for favours. What are these rolls? So that's 2 copies of both of them right now. So far so good. Honestly, we could just roll it all. It's not like it matters this account. I honestly cannot think of the next banner this account would want to roll on, because the rest of the accounts have the ones that I was really eyeing covers. So guess we'll just see. Okay, that should be an MLB copy of Command. Of course, that's just one copy. Still need to be another. Still needs to be another. I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure they just buffed Baldy on JB. I think they did. First copy of Lupu on this account. Maybe this is the account that will raise. Well, no, this account has Mori, so I'd raise him over Luru. Slightly less likely to betray you. Maybe. Just maybe. Of course, Diamid got a buff doing. I think his was doing anniversary. Here's a gold. Probably a first Beowulf. There's some rare prisms for us. Now, if you don't mind his design, he's actually quite good as just, you know, a beat stick. Just, if you want to quickly blow something up, he can do it. And he can do it well. Go Rice Man. He got a good buff during anniversary. Looking forward to that. On my Buster account, because right now he's me a real show, man. Well, he and Arash, but I feel like I don't need to go into too much detail about why Arash. It's not one you can really depend on long term for longer fights. It's kind of not really conducive to that kind of playstyle. That is a pretty craft essence. Speaking of, I feel like we haven't gotten any of the event craft essences in a while. There's a rider. I feel like we haven't been seeing many of those. Speaking of the rerun of this event, for some reason, this also annoys me, but for some reason the rerun of this event does not have Ruler Martha, they put Rider Martha up instead. Why? Why would you do this? So yeah, that's It's all I guess it's all the fire that made me think it was a gold one. Just saw that yellow and orange. You squint real hard, yellow and gold together can look a wee bit orange. Or yellow and orange together can look a wee bit gold. Can't English today. Darius. Hey. Just let him be free. Thanks for talking. Oh, there's another copy of our friendo. No, she's Medusa's this go around. But she always seems to play hard to get though. Ah, necromancy. Now we're rolling. Now we're rolling in that GR. All I need next is a Steno spook. Although, probably jinxing it, but so far that's not the one. That's not the particular spook I always get to this point. Wants to go. I think I already have MP5 somehow on this account, luckily. More damage. Get a lot of him. Okay, sorry, I'm going to be right back just a sec. My apologies. Alright, back. Sorry about that. See if we can't scare up some more decent rolls here. Well, this again had a lot of tickets. We haven't even touched the quartz yet. Had a decent amount of that. Well, moderate amount, I suppose. It's nothing spectacular. I swear, I never saw that CE before, and then that time I started streaming rolls. It just started popping up all over the place. I must have just completely not registered which event or when it got added to the game or something. Good old Babbage. Soon it would take all these coups, or some of them are proto coups. We want to swap those over for the coins. That one seems to like to drop quite a bit. No, that's not a coup. Like that one should have been named Kaleidoscope, as opposed to the one that's actually named Kaleidoscope. Can you believe to this day they still have not added the ability to do multis with tickets? You still have to roll tickets one at a time. Running Christmas events. It's weird that it took them this long to rerun this event, because again, they should have rerun last year, but then they've been being really weird about reruns this year, which is weird because because the excuse is, oh well, they just don't have time for them. You know, they have to, because they're running behind on getting the story out and such. But then they keep making these filler events and then making them 3 bloody weeks or more for no reason, where if you would have just made, and then their filler events that were never designed to go that long. So then you've got the player base just sitting on their hands for a week and a half or 2 weeks even, with nothing to do because the event's already over with. There we go. It's 3. It's a 3 for 3 for now. Let's keep them coming, please. So I wish I could import this level of luck on my other accounts when it comes to rolling. Okay, what was I on about? Oh yeah, so they could easily slap a rerun on there, because here's the thing. You could easily rerun an event that has a welfare servant that, you know, like in Turkey, that also has, you know, Golden Sumo, 2 incredibly valuable welfare servant and craft deserts respectively, that just immediately helps any account. They could do that instead of, you know, making a small filler event and then stretch it to 3 or 4 weeks when there's only like maybe a week's worth of content in the bloody thing to begin with. And then doing all that with all these filler events that they stretched out, they still ran out of content and had a bunch of dead weeks here towards the end. It's ludicrous. I don't get it. I really don't. They've completely gone off the deep end. It's even more frustrating because for a while they were doing well with the stuff they were doing. They were doing real bad, like real bad. And then it got better. And they started doing some really nice things. And now they're back to being just complete nonsense again. And as far as I'm aware, their excuse about the reruns is, oh well, people that have already played them don't really interact with the reruns very much, or not many of the players are playing them, you know, except for the new players, which you should be worrying about getting, by the way, because again, reruns are good for new players, not necessarily the old ones that have already played through them, because you need to be worrying about getting new players into the game as well. But then these people aren't really playing, they're just doing logins and such during rerun events. It's like, oh, well, how are they doing on these filler events that they're already done with after a bloody week? That still has 2 or 3 more weeks to go. Are they doing more than logging in there? Because somehow I doubt it. Funniest thing about now it's obviously just a BS excuse that they pulled out of their bum about the rerun thing. Who knows what their actual reason is for it? Because the easiest solution to let's get them to actually play is, I don't know, implement story replay would be a big start, because then you can take all these shiny servants you got. Okay, so here's the issue. All these veteran players... Okay, so if we took it at face value, their reason about wanting to nix reruns, to an extent, is the fact that veteran players don't play on them, they're not interested in them because they've already done them. You need to give them something to do. So the veteran player, they have all these just really lovely, fully leveled, kitted out and just bent out servants, but then they're caught up with the story, and you can't really rush story without really hampering quality, so you don't want to do that. You don't want to pull a Western game dev. So you need to give them something to do. Well, give them story replay. You've already got the fights in the bloody game. Now they can take all those new servants and then go back to, and activate their nostalgia a little bit. Go back and, I fought this before and it was such a struggle. Let's see how I can do with this new servant. I just got this new servant. Sure would be nice to actually play around with him a little bit, but unfortunately there's a rerun event that's going on that's boring. And there's nothing to do with them. That's why real FGO content creators, all jerks like I am, will actually use their alt accounts. They'll make alt accounts and stop story progression during certain boss fights, or if they get a certain servant whose interludes or strengthening quests have a really neat boss fight in them, they'll not complete it, and they will so they'll have stuff they can use new servants they get on their main or main alts and such. Like green does that a lot, as certain fights sort of preserved on throwaway accounts just to have something to do when a new servant comes out, to throw them up against and see how they interact. Shouldn't have to do that. That's a bit silly. But here we are. Here we are. I think we're finally getting to the end of our tickets here. I'll go to our next bonus roll and then I'll switch to multis. Should be coming up shortly, although I haven't been paying the most attention to the count here. I don't even know what that CE does. Not a clue. There we go. There's a rider. Is it Ushi? No. Bodica. Is that our first Bodica that was? Huh. Now we've got multis now. Now I have to hit the clicker a lot less often. I can just let her go. Be a bit lazy. Maybe I should start with multis next time. Come to think of it. Art of Death. That's a good one. First copy of it. It's a bit difficult to keep track of which useful CEs I have certain amounts of copies of on each account. Little Robin. I'm hoping in JP they will, for long, have an MH XX rerun, because so the weird thing is, I could have sworn that she got another raid up within the next 2 years. That's why I wasn't too fast when I only got like 3 copies of it last time I rolled, because I could have sworn she came back, but I looked through the banners from there and until current JP, and unless I somehow just missed a banner, which I don't think I did because I'm fairly thorough about this stuff, Splitism gets the better of me sometimes, then she doesn't. Now, X and X Alter do, but not her, so it's possible I was mistaking the X banner, one of the X banners, because she has one in January as well, and then one not next anniversary, but the next anniversary. So that's what that one does. See, I'm hoping she gets one soon. It's weird to go 2 years, because it's Mysterious Heroine. She's a very popular character. It's weird to go 2 years without getting her radar. I feel. I'm really curious what the new Christmas event's going to be in JP. Because they're obviously rerunning the event that's currently going on here. But then they'll obviously have a new one afterwards. Although they are running out of time. And then New Year's is supposed to be Lost Belt release. Wait. Hold on. How long's the event in JP been going? Okay, it ends in a week. Are they not going to have a new Christmas event? There's 4. That's bizarre. Yeah, I really don't get what their schedule is yet. It's been very weird. Extremely weird. Still a little nettled about the Rider Martha and not Ruler Martha being rated up. Who are you actually kidding? Of course, if this account, if we can scare up enough more copies of Ruler Martha, then it doesn't really matter, I guess. For us at least, but other people might have gotten quite unlucky with it. So it's a shame for them. No, sometimes, every now and then. It's that 5. It is. It is indeed. Huh. I just had a thought. Yes, it is quite painful. Maybe this account can be the snack account or something. Because I've been looking for an excuse to roll for Ibuki. And the obvious one is, oh, well, just throw on your Buster account. But for the life of me, I can't. Because it's because I need to roll for Nobu Mama next year. And she's always seems to be right next to when Ibuki gets banners. Now there's Summer Ibuki too, but she's arts, so bloody hell. And then the Arctic can't really justify rolling for her because, I mean, we already have Summer Kiara. Now, as a farmer, Ibuki is better, but, I mean, we've already got her fully grailed, ready to go, level 100 in B6. Where are the 4 stars? This is weird. Did they get the rates backwards or something? That'd be pretty funny. And clearly not out of the realm of possibility considering it just happened this year on a banner. Yeah, we could and then of course the main account has Astarte, but also is kind of covered up with things it needs to roll for. I suppose Articant could take a see. Summer 7. Yeah, I think it's Summer 7. The newest summer event. Whatever the newest summer event is, I think 7. Is going to be a bloody nightmare for me in deciding how to handle it with my arts account, because you've got Proto Maryland on a banner, and then you have Summer Ibuki on a banner. Of course, there's also Elise, but maybe Elise is with Ibuki, which is good in that case. Yeah, because Scotty's with Wu. I could just look this up, but now I'm being stubborn and trying to remember. That's like admitting I lost. Can't do that. Or imaginary element before they yoink it out of the game, and that's the first copy. Oh dear. There's no way we're gonna get that MLB'd on this account before they yoink it away. Oh no. They do replace it though with a better alternative that's full attack stat, but that's still a while away. That kind of goes back to something I started to say earlier, where sometimes I think they intentionally implement really stupid decisions into the game just that they can come back later and fix and on during milestone events to call it a quality of life update, just to pat themselves on the back with. That's what I'd think if I was really cynical. Okay, here's a fair spook. With double rate up 4 stars, this is actually extremely unlikely. Because if there is one positive about there being multiple 4 stars on radar, is it only further increases your chance of getting a radar 4 star. Just not a specific radar 4 star. Funny thing is, there is one banner next year from my main account where this pity nonsense is actually not going to affect me at all, which is the Morgan banner with Bagest and Babanshi, because I wanted all 3 of them anyway, so I was going to roll on the double radar. Now, of course, it does mark me out of, okay, I got one of the 4 stars in P5 or whatever. Now I'd like to switch to the solo rate up on the other so we can get her on up there. So I can't do that anymore, but what are you gonna do? is Ushi? Been funny if that's my first copy of it on this account, but I'm pretty sure I actually have an MP5 already. Probably.
オケアノスのキャスターだ。もう君を寂しくはさせないよ。この鷹の魔女を呼びま。
Okay, Luckily for her, we already have Sonzon, who is just well, there's just no contest when it comes to which one's better. Those single target buster casters, both of them having instant MP batteries, but one of them's only saving grace is effectively a stun. Unfortunately for her, and I have no idea why they did this, but they've made the overwhelming majority of bosses in the game specifically immune to Pick a Fire, even if you can stun or charm them. So you can even rifle stomp them with Uriel. Even if you could do that, you still can't Pick a Fire them, which is a very specific thing that has to be added in just to counter Cersei. But why? Let her have something, because even if she gets that, it's not like she's spectacular. She finally got an MP upgrade, and she's still... she tries her best. She tries her best. Quick accounts are going to, in a couple of years, going to have some sketchiness going on as well. Mainly because they released the same quick servant like 4 times in a bloody row in the same year. Just with slightly different classes. Which is a shame. You know, it feels like it's a no-brainer, as they say, to roll for Sam Scotty on the quick account. But that's another thing I'm actually a bit annoyed about, because they're all... the devs are all like, yeah, so our goal this year is to fix quick. And then they went forever until they came out with a quick servant. And then they spam back to back a bunch of quick servants that all have the same exact kit, pretty much. Is that 6? Well, I'll be. She could be 120s. Oh, that's a really good craft essence. One I forgot was in the game already. I thought that was next year. Charizard Ult when I get it. I repeat though, where are the Full-Star servers? Where did they go? Have you seen them, Ushi? You sang fair bards, didn't you? Magic on eyes. What a joke. Feeling I got distracted again. What was I saying? What was I saying? It's done like this where it'd be really nice to have a chat. Say, oh, you dummy, you were talking about this. Of course, they'd probably be uninterested in what I was saying anyway. Troll me that I was talking about something else. There's Yuria. Oh, quick, yeah. So, then they come out with like 4 quick servants that have pretty much the same kit. And now, contrary to the sentiment that I have seen online for some reason, it's a good kit. There's nothing wrong with it, it's good. It's just the fact that it's pretty much the same kit on like 4 different servants. So it becomes a bit boring because of that. Arr. Come on now. Don't start this, please. Please, Martha. I really am going to be sad because she doesn't. Because they've mucked her out of her new raider that she should have been guaranteed to get. Ah. All of the anger. Cute, isn't it? Not so fierce copy of her today, I'm pretty sure. And then the big new quick support they came out with was Scotty, but slightly more overtuned. Oh, that also does stuff with Buster. Okay. Okie dokie. That being said, I'll probably go for. There's actually. So, it's like Bizet and then. Summer Scotty, I guess, is all that I could even potentially. Well. There is one of the aforementioned, like 4 or 5 quick servants that all have the same kit. I suppose I could throw one of those in. But again, since they have really like Vritra and the rider, no, the assassin girl that should have been a rider. Vritra gets bonus damage against riders. So it's like she's an assassin anyway. Doesn't make any bloody sense. But then she's using lancers, she also beats archers. And they had a perfect opportunity to give Bradamante a very well needed buff, and they didn't do it. Just exceedingly frustrating. That is the most obvious of obvious things, and they still can't do it. Why? Are you even trying anymore? Starting to want them. Now see, the thing about this is JP's already going through all this. They already went through a real bad period around Lost Belt 6th anniversary, around that time. Up to, it was like after that, and then going all the way to New Year, where they added pity, which I've already went over my feelings about that. So they went through a lull there, where there was just a bunch of really terrible stuff being put out. And then they were hitting pretty well. The only real dud for a while after that was basically the Learning with Manga crossover. That did not go over well with anyone, as far as I could tell. But then picked back up, did fine. And then more recently now it's just been sort of L after L. So JP's already went through that though. We've not even hit the first of the down swells in global yet. So I'm a bit concerned that the player base in global is just going to drop off a cliff pretty shortly once that hits, especially if they find out that now JP's in another really rough patch. Oh no, come on, this is what I was afraid of. This is what I was afraid of. Bugger all. We were having it too well. Too well. This is actually, this kind of thing, them forcing the dual raid up on us and losing the coin flip on it, is exceedingly more frustrating to me than if it was a sole raid up, like had been happening to me, where I was bad to miss a lot of coin flips. But having went through that, even as ludicrously high amount that I was losing on previous rolling sessions, this is much more annoying to me, because the choice was taken from me to at least try to improve my odds. Martha, come on, it's alright. You're not going to buy it? Maybe. Maybe it isn't. Go to check what that one does. So yeah, quick account. Back on that. Quick account 2 years from now. Doesn't really have all that many really. Oh, I gotta roll for that target. I haven't seen that in a while. Whereas the arts account, it's mostly just that summer event, I guess. Because you got Ibuki. Well, it's two banners. It's the Ibuki banner and it really comes down to Proto Maryland. See, right now my arts account does not have Tamamo. And if I don't have her by then, by the anniversary, then she's going to be one I take at. But the thing is, between Castoria and Tomomo, I wonder how much now some of this is I've not played on JP in a long time, so I haven't actually gotten to test this stuff out, and I haven't really seen anyone trustworthy, at least, that can really break this stuff down well. Really go over Proto Maryland versus Tamamo in that regard. Because I feel like Tamamo is better than her. Because she gives you refunds, she gives you the big arts up, she gives you an extra multiplicative upgrade because she gives you MP damage up instead of just attack and arts, like the other two give. So she actually increases your damage more than Proto Maryland does. Unless she also does that, but I don't think she does. Now, Proto Maryland does give you overcharge levels, which is useful for Caster Otoria and potentially your DPS. I'm pretty sure that's what she does. But Tamamo gives you cooldown reduction. That's huge. She gives you heals. She gives you refunds. She also drains MP gauge just like Proto Maryland will. So I kind of wonder, purely gameplay wise, if there's really a point to so the one that could have used a Maryland equivalent is actually Quick, which kind of adds to the frustration of Summer Scotty and how she turned out just being Scotty again. Because one of the issues with Quick is, besides like standout units like Ku that are just ungodly sustaining machines, Quick can get in a bit of a pickle on longer fights where you need sustain. Because, so with arts, it's like, oh well, you know, Caster Otoria gives you sustain, she gives you a lot of protection, she gives you one turn of invuln, and then she gives you hits of super invuln. And then Tam gives you a lot of healing, seed cooldown reduction so you can get your defensive abilities up, as well as your offensive abilities back up. Just, she delays the enemy's MP by draining their gauge. Just all sorts of stuff like that. Maryland gives AoE invuln for a turn. He can also heal. But with Quick, well, there's other stuff as well. Besides that, these are the big ones. And then, even Vich gives you cooldown reduction, which, you know, I can get defensive skills back up. Even though she's more of a Buster Scotty, or at least closer than something that can. But then back to well, there's even Nightingale who can, if you can time her MP right, you can just tank the enemy's MP. But with Quick, you have Scotty, and now Summer Scotty, which is just, I can't even say Super Scotty, just slightly bigger Scotty. Too many ice creams if you ask me. Bit budgy. But once they've done their deed, once they've used their skills, they're kind of not doing much of anything until their cooldowns come back up. But then you don't have cooldown reduction anywhere. You don't have heals, invulns, or super invulns, or even evades. Or, well, with Scotty's MP you get some evade, but doesn't quite cut it, unfortunately. So if anyone needed a Merlin ripoff, Quick could have used that, the more sustaining support. So that adds a little bit to my disappointment with what they did with Summer Scotty. Now that being said, it's not like she's bad. She's certainly not. She's just better Scotty. And for those quick units that have like 2 Buster cards and 2 quick cards, like Saber Storfo, for example, who also has Star Gabba Wader on his Buster. She's really even better for. I'm really becoming concerned that I'm not going to get any more Martha. Really would have liked to get her in P5, especially now that she doesn't have any more banners for the foreseeable future. It is strange the lower amount of 4-star servants we've been getting this session. Of course, it's contrasted with getting 6 copies of Vritra. Oh, our imaginary round, since you did my quick account. I think I only have 1 or 2 copies of that on there. Okay, is that 7 copies of Vritra now? No. Huh. I can't believe it. Jean. I'm actually pretty shocked about that. I don't have any of my other accounts. Never had Jean. We say close. See, that's how you want Spooks to be. After you've already gotten as many copies of the 5-star servant that's rated up on the banner that you could possibly want. Okay, now the Spooks can start happening. Keep them a-coming. But again, what's with the 4 stars on this banner? What's up with that? I'm legitimately starting to think that maybe they did mark the raid ups. The race up. What a weird day. What a weird day. I was so confused when I saw that ruler card. I was like, but that was a rainbow spark, not a gold one. So this is
お会いできて本当によかった。
Yeah, that was something. I had a little loading wheel going on in my head. It's like, what? Huh? I'm surprised I haven't gotten a 4-star ruler and it being a strier yet. Those are the real funny ones. Those are the real funny ones. Come on, Martha. I think we got 3 copies of it. Just 2 more, 2 more. Pretty please. We haven't got many. I feel like we got quite a few copies of that early on, and then just none for a long time. More Iceman. I do need to think about what I want to do for AoE. Archer on the Buster kit. Because, see, my main account has Ishtar, so not too fast about getting her again. Going out of my way to, at least. So then the obvious backup is like Gil, and I did have the chance to get him. He was available, but I was like, nah. I suppose who's left? Well, there's Tomitomo, the Gundam guy, Ushi's uncle. But he's a long way away before he gets out of the game. He's another permanent servant as well. So that's a thing. Napoleon. Good old Napoleon. That's an option. I think he's also spooky. I think he even gets a raid up next summer. So I suppose that's an option. Lancer, I'm currently planning on Roma. That is the current plan. The other option, of course, would be a rescue goal, but I already have her on my main. She's MP4 now because I did a YOLO roll with 10 tickets on her recent banner, and here she came. So, copy number 4. So, obviously, I'll try to get the 5th copy because she actually gets rated up, I think, twice more to this point. I think she gets one next year and the year after. Regardless, she comes back at least once more. Ishtar does as well, so just they keep throwing them on there at similar times. Suppose that's still an option for the bust account. So like I'm too... I feel like there's gotta be someone I'm forgetting for AoE bust archers. It's just not like, even like Ishtar's probably my favorite out of that bunch. But it's like, it's not like I particularly rate her, honestly. Like, she's gameplay wise she's really good. Character-wise, I'm fairly indifferent to. I definitely like a rescue. Just loads more in that regard. Martha, Martha, Martha. Why must you do me this way, love? It'd be real funny to get spooked by Ryder, Martha, right about now. I would take it though, because she's really good. She's very useful too. Oh, another one of those. It's the MASH CE. You want her to tank it up in boss fights? Male boss fights at least. Slap that on her. You're set and pretty. That's the other one I'm wheel training. That's the one for the ladies. It's not as potent as the Magdalene C, but it works against either gender. How have I not had Divine Banquet? How bizarre. We are quickly approaching the end of the line, I'm afraid. What a bizarre protest. Come on, Martha. Just getting one more copy of it would go a long way, because it would allow me to easily get 2 pins for her without having to burn one of those fancy torches. To upper bond past 10. I've still yet to actually use one of those, come to think of it. Despite having a decent number of Bond 10 servers. Speaking of, I need to... probably should work on Heracles on my main. Although he's just in B1, it's not too fast about doing it. Already have one on my arts account ready to go, who I've finally managed to max the skills on and get to 100. All ready to go. Well, here's our last multi, and then we'll have to do. Then we can do some singles to close there. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. So, well, the battle have come long ago. We were getting them, and then all of a sudden, they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go walk about, don't mind me. I'll be over here if you need me. Cutesy. I think we've gotten a lot of tell. So there's some mana prisms for us. There's just no reason to bother with him when Robin's a thing. Unless, well, for gameplay reasons at least. Alrighty. Here we go. We get one more bonus summon out. Looks like. We'll take that. It's really good to get. Valuable for keeping a key support alive in South boss fights. To switch to this. What does that even do? Huh? Eh? Okay, star battery, that's better than nothing. It'll be 4 once it's MLB. Okay, here it is, lasses and lads. Our last hurrah. Coup, and probably a crop business. Oh, it's a servant. Well.
いらっしゃい。千里の道も一歩からだ。
Unless I'm just seeing double. I'm pretty sure that's 6 copies of that. And then there's some song here. She's in P1. Right. We have Waiver. We have Jean. Okay. I'm pretty sure she's at 3. No, she's at 2. She's at 2. What's you? You're at 2. And you're just at 1. You were just random. Valkyrie, because I feel like I can't have an account without getting one Valkyrie. Oh yeah, this one has Liz. She's just 1. She was the starter selling. Oh, Starfire coming in out of the blue. And we just got here. So, the thing about Amiya here is, well, Kiritsugu. The thing about Kiritsugu here is, Asuko's better than it, but they actually work really well together. So it's one of those things, if you're willing to use both of them, you will actually do quite well teaming up with her. But, if you're like, I only want one single target, arts, assassin, then she's better. Yeah, you're only in P1. That's weird. See, then we have Pensalea here. And 3 copies of here. Only 3 copies of here. That gives me the big sad. Okay, let's try to figure something out here. I'm pretty sure I'm correct about A-pins. Oh, yeah, apparently I hadn't been on this tab. Wow, we got a lot of him. 540. That's that good stuff right there. 660 is how many you need to get all 3 A pins and 120 of them. What's this favorite? Anti-Avenger. Anti-Avenger. Okay. Okay, so she's at 150, so she needs 240. So here's the issue. Going from getting to bond 10 will give you 80 coins. So going from 0 to 10 is 80 coins. I'm pretty sure. Servant coin. Yeah, 80. Meaning we'll have to get it to bond 11 to get 2 of her ad-pins. But if we could have just snuck out 1 more copy of it, we would have been fine. So that's... disappointing. This isn't though. And she'll be back eventually, surely. I mean, it's Martha. She's, I'm pretty sure, quite popular. Although then again, they did muck her out of her current JP event for some bloody reason. See, with 5 stars it's not quite as bad because you get 90 coins just for 1 copy, whether they're permanent or not. So 2 copies will all just, you know, MP2 will get you 2 A-pins, easy as. And usually, well in this case Berserker is really good, so we actually would like to get all 3 of hers. Which isn't quite happening unfortunately. Unless I get some spooks. Because I don't think she has any raid ups for the foreseeable future. So if we go to MP2, that's 180 right there, and then plus 80 from getting her to Bond 10. So there's your 2 A pens right there, but we'll be missing enough to get a third one. So yeah, but really permanent 4-star servants and limited 3-star ones are the ones that get knocked over the most. Well, besides, okay, limited 1 to 3-star servants. It's like this little rascal right here. If you wanted enough coins for him, my goodness, it's a mess. Actually, what's he at? 210? Now, since he's a support, you really just want this one, which isn't all that difficult to get because you'll want to get an MP5 anyway. But still. Alright. I reckon that'll just about wrap this one up. A lot of ranting, some weird rolls. Really weird rolls. But we got Vritra and John. It's totally unexpected. She's got a skill upgrade coming on the way as well. It's pretty decent too. I think this one. Let's wait that. Of course, if you get John, the most important thing to do is immediately, best as quickly as possible, beeline to her MP upgrade, because as it is right now, so it gives a turn inborn for everyone, and then defense up for 3 turns, and then HP regen for 2 turns. But she stuns herself for 2 turns, so that means the rest of the turn she uses her MP on, and the next turn on top of it. That's a bad. Now the funny thing is that means enemy Johns, because enemy servants never do their upgrades. That means enemy Johns. If you're not too fast if she uses her MP, because then she stuns herself for 2 bloody turns, and then you can laugh. And the defense up at MP1 isn't really that impressive. But once you get her MP upgrade, it becomes quite useful. Because when it's upgraded, it swaps out the 2-turn stun with instead cleansing all debuffs from your party. So you get 1 turn inborn for everyone, and then defense up for 3 turns. The 1000, well, depending on overcharge, 1000 minimum HP regen for 2 turns, and you get rid of debuffs. So that's really good. You can actually raise Hans here and Mash and just sort of cheese most boss fights, because you're pretty much unkillable with that combination. With the exception of certain chemics, of course, the really tougher boss fights. But now the caveat is it'll take you a bloody eternity to get through there, because you're not going to be smacking damage very much. But you know, it's an option. If you got a couple months to kill for one boss fight. But I reckon that'll just about do it for this one. I think we've ranted and raved enough about the current state of the game and how they really bent us over for the next 2 years by giving us pity early. What an unfortunate thing to have to say, but it's true. But c'est la vie. Well, the good news is, if they finally get their head out of their bum and fix it and make it to where we don't have to be stuck with dual radars anymore for the 4 stars, then maybe they'll implement that early. Unfortunately, the caveat to that is they likely think they already did with what they've been doing for a while, which is tie an individual 4-star to an individual 5-star, and that's not a fix that they're going to give us early, because they would have to go into the code and change all the upcoming banners, and there's no way they're going to do that for a server that they don't actually care all that much about. That's the quote-unquote realist version of it, or pessimist, whatever you want to refer to it as. But alright, well, I guess we'll see. So that'll be it for now. Still working on lots of node gathering and preps for hopefully finally getting back to streaming regularly, if I can get some decent playthroughs going. But it's purely because of my autism about wanting to be well prepped for a game before I actually play through it on stream. So I end up doing multiple practice runs. So it just keeps delaying things. But enough jibber jabber. Time to get out of here. Next rolling session will be, let's see, next rolling session will be Saber Wars 2 for Mysterious Heroine X on the main, or quick account for Ushi Venja doing a little big tango event. Whichever comes first. I think Saber Wars came first in JP. But actually, let me double check that. Events JP. 2 years January. Wrong January. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, Saber Wars came first in JP. It starts a few days after New Year's. So should be Mysterious Heroine X rolls. The good news is her banner's not going to be affected because it's just her and Sitting Master. And Yagyu on radar. Of course, the caveat is I don't particularly have any interest in him, but yet he keeps appearing on banners I have to roll for. cheeky blighter. So hopefully we have some good luck with Mysterious Heroine. The good news is she does get raid ups even after this, so it's not too bad. Worst comes to worst. And then again, Ushi Venger. I would, if I could get lucky like we were with Vritra and get like 2 or 3 copies of it really quickly, that would be perfect, because the quick account is in a real pickle next year, because in January we want to roll for Ushi Venger, but then turn around in February and we want to roll for Karen during the Valentine event. It's exceedingly frustrating. And then there's like nothing until Gouda in like November for the quick account. It's like, could we just spread those out just a wee bit more? They'd be lovely, but no, we can't have nice things. That's not how we roll over here. But alright. That's the way we're looking. Oh, and for Arts account, probably nothing until there's a spring event in, I believe, March. That will have Tamamo on radar. So, not gonna roll heavy on it, but see if I can't just luck Saka really quickly. And that would open up my SSR ticket for getting another copy of Aussie, or getting a 4th copy of Cetonine. Perhaps. Probably I would use it on Aussie, because, you know, going from MP1 to MP2 is a great deal more impactful than going from MP3 to MP4. And Cetonine is not one that I'm really needing the 3rd A pen for, because it's against Sabres, which she has lost its advantage against. So I'm not going to use her against Sabres anyway. It's ludicrous. It's not something like Sun Zongs, which is against Berserkers, which is really useful. Or Vritra's, which is against Avengers, which might be useful. Really not certain about that one. Of course, that being said, if worse comes to worse, where is it? Eventually, when I actually play this account, if ever, I'll get access to oh, right. I think it's next year they permit. No. So not next year, but the year after. The BB event will be permanently added to main interlude. So once we qualified for it, we can do it whenever we want. So we can get BB. So she can counter Avengers, and she gets a buff that's actually pretty good too. So don't hate that. Although maybe it just doesn't even appear until we qualify for it. Okay, there's that one. Oh. Oh, there they are. Why are they not? I feel like they should be where this one is. I suppose so. So yeah, but they're there to eventually. Oh yeah, I don't have one of those. Oh well, we'll have one during New Year's. Huh. Just can't. Where did those come from? I'm sorry. I can't believe I have one of these on 2 accounts now. How bizarre. Alright, let's try this one more time. I'm going to end stream now. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.